to subscribe. This is Uncle Lenny, the only uncle in town. So this afternoon, it's a great privilege to welcome the ambassador from the Republic of Zambia. Also with me is Bishop Davis Lombe from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, to the round table this afternoon. Mr. Honorable, I want you to say hi to my viewers, please.
Right, thank you very much. My name is Chibamba, Kayama, the Ambassador of Zambia to the United States.
Thank you. Pastor Lombe, you want to say hi to my viewers, please?
Yeah, sure. This is Bishop Lombe. Thank you for inviting me, Leonard. We've always been around, and I hope we will get a lot of information from the ambassador.
Thank you so much. So, viewers, as you know, that my channel, or my goal of my channel is to highlight or to promote businesses and continents, and of course, today it's a privilege to have His Excellency on my YouTube channel, where we're going to talk so much various issues pertaining to the diaspora community. The first question from Mr. Honorable, is there any program or plan that you have to visit the Zambian communities in the US?
Yes, we have a strategy which will be launched very soon, and the strategy is called the U.S. Embassy, Zambia Embassy, the USA Strategic Plan 2024 to 2026. It's a 3-year strategy in which diaspora engagement is one of the critical priorities. In fact, we already reached out to leaders of the various diaspora associations in the USA. We reached out to about 11 of them. We haven't finished the process yet. Consulting with them what they think should be our priorities, what are the critical issues that they are facing, and what they believe we should be doing as embassy. So, outreach to our diaspora families spread across the USA is a key priority as ambassador, and we have already begun the process.
Thank you. Mr. Honorable, are there any plans are there any plans here at the embassy that you would love the Zambian living in diaspora be aware of?
Yes, one of the issues is what is our mission to the USA? What is our priority? As emphasized by the President Chilema, all missions, Zambian missions, are prioritizing what we call economic diplomacy. Economic diplomacy is to ensure we find markets for our products wherever we are in the USA and other countries of extra accreditation. We should also tap into capital, USA capital, that we believe is necessary and important for our own growth as Zambian economy. We are looking for foreign direct investment as well, particularly in value-adding industries. So we're looking for investment in infrastructure, we're looking for investment in the financial sector, we're looking for investment in the energy sector, in manufacturing, in agriculture, in tourism, and almost also, including sport and art. All these are critical areas of our priority. So we find that the diaspora are the low-lying fruit. They understand this market better than the embassy does. So in our engagement, we have decided that we shall work very closely with the diaspora family to help us not only identify potential partners in this market, but work with the diaspora themselves as a partner to invest back home. We have people like Bishop Lombe here who got brilliant ideas and are already investing back home. And what do we want them to know? To know that we are there to support them, to know that we want this diaspora family to invest back home. We want the diaspora family to help us identify potential American businesses that can invest back home. We want the diaspora family to also know that they can help us negotiate opportunities, not only with the business community, but with all other sectors, including think tanks, UN agencies, USA agencies that are involved in health sector. These are not profit making, but they have got a bias towards developing our economy in many other areas on the social front. So we want the diaspora to know that they are our priority partner in engaging back home.
Thank you.
Let me just ask Ambassador, there is something that I've been thinking of. Is there a way out you can set up some form of meeting or some form of a workshop where we can bring people from diaspora, we sit down and look at certain issues? I know you're so much into business development, you're doing that in Zambia. Instead of these guys just being all over, why can't we have maybe once in a year, we have all people who are doing business and then talk about those businesses, and some of the business at a time can be transferred into Zambia. That's my question to you.
Apparently, this is very good affirmation. You are simply confirming what we've been contemplating doing. We have talked to some of the business partners here, these are Zambians,
Yes.
about prospect of hosting one big event for the diaspora family, brainstorm the ideas, and the feedback has been incredible. They are saying we're actually willing to finance ourselves.
Maybe because there was no opportunity.
Absolutely.
There were people like Dr. Mwenda.
Absolutely. Kenneth
Mwenda.
Yeah,
Those people.
brilliant ideas.
Brilliant ideas, but the door is not open for
Yeah,
them. So
yeah.
for me, I'm advocating for that we can come together.
Absolutely.
Not only for Independence Day celebration, no, where we kind of brainstorm. So
Absolutely.
that's my take.
Yeah, and all, I mean, thank you so much for affirming what our intention.
Yes.
You know, that's our plan, and it's coming from yourself, who is among those individuals we're targeting now. So we have people like Anthony Chanka, we've
Yes.
got people like Dr. Brazil, we've got people like Mr. Stephen Banda, we've got a number of Zambians all over. You know, we've got influential Zambians like Professor Mono, and all these are willing to put resources together to host this event. And the whole idea is that we must identify ourselves as one family who are focused on Zambia. We want to change the thinking in the country that diaspora people, they run away. They run away, you know, to go and be them. What do they have now? They want to come back. No, we actually are blessed to have Zambians who are this exposed, having wider knowledge about what's going on outside their own country. So the first step was last year during the Livingston conference. This was a diaspora organized conference where they came together, and we're using those ideas to put together something for the next 3 years. And the last other engagement was just recently in Atlanta. Another mind transformation conference, mind setting conference set up by another group of diaspora. There's some people actually, this was the second. So we are looking forward to the moment where we can have a third one. And the topic will now not just be on anything, but focused on entrepreneurship, development, and investment.
I've said this, Ambassador, in that I don't know if you're aware, the Kenyans have opened up a company that runs parallel like Western Union. They remit the money and they keep the money.
You see?
Now Western Union, the Indians, you send the money, they give you kwacha, they keep the dollar. So those are things, and there are a lot of Zambians like the chief wanted to say. There are a lot of people remit money to Zambia, but what are they using? They're using platforms like Western Union, Remitting, and all that. Why can't we set our own generic, our own company that can do that? So those are some of the things that maybe we help us bring people together in such conferences. We can sit down and say, guys, let's pitch up money together and open up such a thing.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Mr. Honorable, I have another question. Looking at Ghana experience with the year of return in terms of development, Ghana, I think it was 2020 when they launched the year of return. What has Zambia learned in regards of that? What has Zambia learned in regard of the development in Ghana when the year 2020 was launched?
Maybe you can tell me more about that one?
It
is the time when Ghana asked the people that were
in diaspora. They open up a door and facilitate things for them to return and invest there. Mostly they were targeting African Americans. So they returned back there. They found that everything has been laid out. There are a lot of things that can help them settle. So that's what probably just for us in diaspora. What is there set for us to to come in, I would share this with you, not what you saw, just to kind of amplify on that. I was building a house in Zambia, and I was using somebody there in Zambia. When I went there, the house is not there, but I spent 50,000 because there's nothing that I can use to follow up, and I've lost out. But if I have a government, there's a process somewhere that can make people, for us in diaspora to do that, we can easily achieve that.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm.
Yeah, thank you. I know the president has been urging Zambians to come back home,
Yes.
which is an excellent step. But the very, very first thing we need to do is to prepare the minds of the Zambians that don't just go back home thinking that then government will support you. We are not asking for people who go back there and become a burden to the government.
Yes.
We are looking for individuals who have got something to bring to the table. They should be saying, I've got skill, I've got knowledge, I've got resources, I've got money, and all I want is government to support me how to launch myself and support. So if diaspora are not yet ready to go, I would encourage them to accumulate whatever they are accumulating here, whether it's resources or knowledge and expertise, so that the time they decide to return, they are not going to be frustrated. It can be very frustrating.
Yes, yes.
I was telling some professionals, there is a neurosurgeon here called Dr. Anna Banda. She's highly respected in this market, very, very respected by the Americans and the diaspora family. And I've said to her and many others I've met the physicians, we are not looking after you getting back to Zambia. There are many other ways you can get back. You can go back without necessarily getting back. Number one, for you physicians, you can participate in what we call telemedicine, where you can offer your services, supporting your friends at UTH. And undertaking those operations, the highly sophisticated operations, using the latest technology. There are digital platforms where I don't need to physically go to Zambia. Two, you can mobilize machines, equipment, and send it back to Zambia. You can also arrange for your brothers and sisters, the medical people, to come here, learn about, have exposure for 1 or 2 weeks, intensive training, and collaborate with them and get back. So there are many ways by which we can get Zambians back home without necessarily them physically getting there. Investing while you are still here, Bishop goes to Zambia twice a year. To me, that is going back home. You don't necessarily need to go and shift and stay there, but by virtue of you getting back to see what you are doing and investigating, that's important. And the third element I thought is important for us to appreciate is that we have lately been motivating Zambian institutions, various institutions, to hook into the diaspora family. Absa has been here 4 times now. The MD herself was here about 4 or 5 weeks ago and tapped into the diaspora family. We have held virtual platforms together. Zanaco has been here, and I think it should have been in Texas, Dallas, where they engage the diaspora family to invest back home and find another way of getting money there using other data-rich platforms that are beneficial to us. And as I'm speaking to you this moment, the Zambia National Building Society is coming. Is actually arriving in Zambia. They're arriving. They engage the diaspora. My first secretary for trade, for public relations and press, Mr. Tembo, did organize a conference with the diaspora family, and they talked to them about how you can buy a house or build a house using a credible platform like ZNBS, so that when you get back there, you won't see an empty shell. You actually find your house is there. So that's how we are also getting Zambians back home.
All right. So I'll shift gears a little bit. Mr. Honorable, Zambia has given American concession on the visa entry to Zambia. What has America given in return?
Now, that free visa entry is not like we are losing money. As embassy here, yes, in terms of revenue, we have lost money because they are no longer paying those fees for the visa. But when you look at the number of American tourists who are going to Zambia, the gap between the USA and the second country in terms of visit is over 700,000.
Yes.
Okay.
So it has exponentially increased the number of tourists to the country from the USA market.
Okay.
The benefit outweigh the loss in terms of revenue by far, by a huge margin. So this initiative by government to forgo this visa revenue has given us a huge dividend by attracting many American visitors to the economy.
Mr. Honorable, I have one more question. I'm going to ask about the banking sector. I know there are some Zambians that haven't traveled home, but they would love to bank their money in Africa. Is there any way that a Zambian can open online banking whilst in the US than that person traveling to Zambia? Can you make it easier for Zambians that are in diaspora to making sure that
maybe
they
like engage the banks and the kind of
Absolutely. We had two directors. The MD for ABSA was here, and then Mrs. Melo, and then she sent two directors last week in Atlanta, where we engaged the diaspora. And the key part of the conversation had to do with the very question: how do Zambians open accounts in Zambia? The area challenge has been about notary, which is about verifying your authenticity.
Yes.
Because we are living in a world where illicit money movements are attracting a lot of attention. So you want to know your customer, and knowing your customer, most commercial banks, required by law, did insist that you identify yourself having a notary or letter of credibility written by the embassy itself. And Zambians have to travel to the embassy to get that letter. Said no, that can actually, it may not be necessary. It's like a punishment to open an account back home. It's discouraging diaspora members to open accounts in Zambia. So we have agreed that they have now found an easier platform which will be communicated in due course, and they have actually communicated that you can actually open your bank account online and be able to make your transactions online. The only hiccup currently is how, if you have an account here in the USA and an account in Zambia, how do you make those transfer movements between a bank here where you already have an account and ABSA in Zambia? That is the only thing they are working on at the moment, and of course working with the latest technologies in money movements. The answer should be found. Otherwise, you can open an account in Zambia, and not only open an account in Zambia, you can use the same bank account to make instant money movements within the country to pay a relative has got a funeral. You want to transfer money from your ABSA account to your relative who wants money for school fees, and they get it on the instant.
Yes.
So that provision is right there now.
Mr. Honorable, do you have any plans at the embassy to have a desk for diaspora, since these are the people that are direct, that gives direct investment into our country? Like back home, I know that they used to give a desk to the State House because maybe it's a container or
no, but that one, this was taken away by
But now we're talking about diasporas now.
Yeah.
Is there any way that we can have a desk for someone else who can handle our issues pertaining to land or transfers of titles or other stuff like that?
We apparently have assigned our current First Secretary for Press and Public Relations, Mr. Temple, to undertake the diaspora interests, and that's much of the work he does right now. We are yet to get him to talk to embassies like Rwanda Embassy, because Rwanda Embassy has somebody just First Secretary for diaspora interests. I had a meeting with the embassy, and they are willing to support our embassy in that regard. I know it can take a long time to have the office itself, but we already have an individual assigned. All we need is to train him, induct him, expose him, orient him to understand what to do on these technical aspects of this assignment.
Thank you so much.
You're most welcome.
Mr.
It's been my
Odebo.
pleasure. Thank you.
Yeah.
Mr. Odebo, one more last question. I know in our community we are having a lot of death. People are dying. I'm sure your office is always notified every single time that incident happens. Is there any way that the embassy can go out in the communities encouraging Zambians to have insurance instead of depending on GoFundMe?
We have had a number of meetings with the various associations, and we appreciate the various initiatives that they're putting together. One of them is DMV Association, who have come up with an insurance, have arranged an insurance platform with should be Zanaco, I can't remember the bank in Zambia, but they have arranged an insurance platform with Madison Life. Madison Life. They have an arrangement with Madison Life where when somebody dies, Madison actually can evacuate the body and pay for it from here without going through FundMe. And we are encouraging many other associations to collaborate, whether with American insurance companies or with insurance companies back home in Zambia, so that once something happens, they're quickly notified. Not only for those who die here, but for those who may also lose family members back home, and you have to send a lot of money. And when you're in the diaspora, there's a funeral in your family, you are expected to donate, to give the largest contribution. But people go through hardships here. The cost of living is very high in the USA. We should be mindful that this industry is also as complicated as Zambia. So you can say, I'm in the diaspora, but you are still going through stress. People are going through a lot of debt through the credit card and others. So the best formula to solving these issues is not to rely on individual members of the diaspora and the insurance. We should go to the conventional insurance companies to take up this responsibility, because it becomes really difficult. Because I've seen it's not only GoFundMe platforms now. We have seen even in Zambia, people are using the there are WhatsApp groups now based on ex-Kayama, ex-employees of Bank of Zambia, ex-what. So whenever somebody loses their wife, people just post and people fear, if I don't put money here, then if it happens to me. But you look, this is stressful. That's why we have got insurance companies which handle funerals, which handle all this, so that it's a market based. Your contribution is planned for. Because if you're going to rely on GoFundMe, people plan a year. They have got budgets. Should I budget that this year I may lose 10 friends? No, you can budget your contribution to an insurance pool, so that you can know that this year I'll put so much to an insurance pool. Doesn't matter how many people die, but the insurance pool will meet my needs. And that's what we are encouraging.
Before this man winds up, I want to ask a question on passports and registration cards. It's very difficult for us to process those things here. When you come, you get the forms and you put it in, it will be in the pipeline forever. So I was asking the question, can it be streamlined? Because we already have a passport. All we're doing is just replacing it. So why does it take like longer times to come? The embassy is not cooperating and that kind of thing. I'm not talking about the current, there's a change, of course. We're talking about looking at where we've come from. Just to have a passport done, you have to go to Zambia and do it there. Can there be a way out that can be streamlined and it's easy to get a passport?
Yeah, the thing that we're internally working on at the moment, they're part of the strategic plan. We have collaborated, interrogated the issues at hand. We have identified many challenges. For example, dual citizenship, which is now in existence, is not operating efficiently. It is taking too long for people to have that endorsement on their national identity that they are now dual citizens. It's quite expensive for people. Two, the issue of traveling here when your passport expires, you have to fly from somewhere to come here and to do that, so that we verify. So it's one thing that we are interrogating, and some of the proposals are that we will identify central, apart from the consular offices we shall have, we want to make sure there are many consular offices in the USA, maybe about 3-4 more, perhaps Atlanta, in Dallas, in California. We also want to identify areas, central places where our immigration team can go to. Announce that the immigration team will spend 2-3 days in Texas. For people who want to renew their passport, they will come and verify, and you can you drive to that location. At this hotel, you'll find the officers there. And 3, when passports are sent to Zambia, they take long coming here because they rely on a diplomatic bag. But that diplomatic bag does not come often to our office. So it takes about 2-3 months. People are waiting for their passport. So we have resolved going forward that we will bear the cost of transporting the passports once they are done in Zambia. We will have them couriered here so that they don't delay. And there's also a new platform. Government has already launched it, an online tracking system for your passport. It's just that it hasn't been fully operational yet, but we know it's in existence. Where once it's really more like a commitment to service. Once you load your passport, you get a tracking number. You are able to follow where your passport is. If you're delaying somewhere, you can phone directly that my passport is sitting at passport office. Why is it staying that long? But what that will do also, it will show where the delays are because it will expose inefficiencies. This process is already in existence. I'm not just too sure why it has delayed at this moment, but it's already there.
Mr. Honorable, I know this is a rare chance that I normally have on my YouTube channel, so to have you today, I know it's a big thing for me, but I still have 2 more questions. I know Ghana, being a president of Zambians in Pittsburgh, I interact with other nationalities. I've seen Ghanaian ambassador coming to Pittsburgh, sitting down with the Ghanaians and business houses. Do you have any plans to go and market Zambia besides just being at the embassy?
Actually, I think from your first question, you are talking about visiting the diaspora family. This one is really about marketing. As I'm talking to you now, my deputy is not here because she's putting together a mission to California for the end of this month. And we are taking a group from Zambia, the Zambia Development Agency. We are going to New York now. So we have a very strong strategy, very robust strategy for the next 3 years on how to market ourselves in this country. We say, look, there are over 50 states in the US. Each state is like a country. And we have done an interrogation on why is it that we don't have much investment in Zambia from the US. And we have met business people arranged by the Chamber of Commerce. The US Chamber of Commerce has really been very helpful. And they've given us feedback. They have told us we don't know about Zambia. We know about Africa, but we don't know about Zambia. So make sure there is greater awareness. So our strategy is to ensure that we have a greater campaign across the USA to make awareness of Zambia. We are not competing for investment against other countries like Asian countries which are known and they are already in terms of economies of scale already attractive for American businesses. We realize we are also competing with US states. Because if a company in the USA wants to invest within another state in the US, because they already got the critical mass they're looking for. So awareness campaign is part of the free strategy that is in place.
Mr. Honorable, I know Zambia has transformed themselves so much. There's one person who traveled to the continent recently. He gave me the information that when you're in Zambia, you don't see Kwacha exchanging hands. They are using money mobile. But it has become so difficult once you lose that SIM card to replace it. It may take you so much period of time, considering the fact that you are in diaspora in Zambia just for a limited time. Is there any way that the phone companies can give exemption about the people that are coming in diaspora? I'll give you an example. Someone else lost a phone, but up to now could not get a SIM card because he had to return to the US. Whenever you send an email, no one else is even responding back to the email, even after 3 weeks. I know there's an agency called Zeta that is looking on the security part of the center, but at least the services could be at least expedited, especially when one is not in Zambia. Because I've seen that I can send money through my money mobile here in a bank in Zambia. But if I don't have that SIM card, I'm in trouble. So I've seen people that are coming over here complaining about how slow the services are in Zambia.
I'm hearing this for the first time, and I'll take it to be a technical administrative issue. Yeah, I don't think it's about failure to issue new SIM cards. They normally issue those SIM cards very, very quickly. It's how the information is relayed and communicated to the providers. And I think the delay is how soon will you have your document here. You may have to have a relative back home who will have to follow up for you and find a way of sending it very, very quickly. At times it's even faster. You identify a Zambian traveling here. That's how we receive things these days. To know, at times we have got relatives at the airport who work for Zambia Airports Corporation, who is traveling, who is going. And then we've got other platforms like Amazon, who are very, very efficient. Once you connect with your relative, they can send that through Amazon and to be here within a very short period of time.
Mr. Honorable, thank you so much.
You're most welcome.
In conclusion, do you have any last message to our diaspora community, if you have to speak to them directly?
Yeah, I want to say to the diaspora family, and this is my overriding message above everything else, that we want us to work as a team. We are bipartisan as an embassy. Internally, we don't know who belongs to what political party, if anyone belongs to what political party, we don't know who. We are all professionals, and that is our value, our mentality, to be courteous, to value every Zambian. Don't think that if I go to the embassy, I will meet political cadres. We don't have cadres here. We have only professionals willing to serve you, and that's why we are here. We are here to serve Zambians. Don't even feel like you are punishing us for contacting us. It's our job to serve you here, otherwise we stop existing. So we want to ensure we safeguard your interests, and many of you have not registered. Please register. I know your fears that we will abuse your information, we shall compromise the data that you give us. Please go online on our website and register your presence. We need to know that you are here, so that if anything happens, you don't have to start finding out, talking to diaspora leader, did you know about this person? We want to have that data with us, and we want to encourage one Zambia, one nation spirit right here. We are truly one Zambia, one nation. If there is any ethnic issues that Luvale, in the diaspora family, we have one tribe called Zambia, and that is what unites us together. One Zambia, one nation, loving one another, working in unity, and together we can do so much.
Mr. Ambassador, just maybe to add on the last question from me as well. Is that on the time when we will be allowed to vote?
That is another issue which is being discussed. If you saw 2 months ago, Ms. Mangala Zolamis, with the chairperson of the Electoral Commission of Zambia, did say they are testing the equipment on ensuring maybe diaspora can vote in 2026. So they are actually working on that equipment at the moment.
Wow.
Well, thank you very much, Mr. Ambassador.
Mr. Ambassador, through you, please extend our warm greetings to His Excellency, the President of the Republic of Zambia, Mr. Hakainde Hichilema.
Thank you very much.
And we are so grateful for this opportunity that you have accorded to us to sit down with us to talk various issues concerning to the diaspora people. So, brothers and sisters, as you heard, honors is on you. Please find time to look for insurance, find time to register yourself. You shouldn't be an enemy or thinking it's about the embassy, it's about all of us. They're here to save us. That's the reason why, look at the time that he has given us. It's not, we have taken his time away from his busy schedule to talk about issues concerning our communities. Mr. Honorable, we are so grateful.
Thank you so much. Always the chief.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
I
Thank you,
will
Bishop.
also take advantage to pass my personal greetings to the President.
Definitely.
Tell him I met the young man.
Sure, I'll
Greet him and we support everything.
Thank you,
God
sir.
bless him.
Thank
And
you,
God
sir.
bless you.
God bless you.
Since I'm the president for the Zambian Association in Pittsburgh, we extend your invitation to attend our independence on the 26th of
Okay. The man please.